I think he's secretly pretty racist. Is my interpretation, judging on how many Dixiecrats and segregationists he got along with. But I'm not inside his head, so sometimes I struggle with this claim that we can know if somebody's racist, but judging by his actions. 1977 here, his comments. Bring that back up for a second. Growing up in a racial jungle. Yeah, that was his other one. And of course, we want to make sure things aren't taken out of context. We're talking about Joe Rogan being taken out of context. But if you go and do a couple hours of searching on Joe Biden, first of all, they've hidden a lot of it. I found a lot of his old videos on Yahoo Video Search, which is how you find a lot of his old stuff when he was doing press conferences from his desk when he was in politics in the 70s. And he's talking about how he got along with a segregationist who would tell him, Joe, I'll run against you or with you, depending on which way helps. He was friends with the very last person to run as a Dixiecrat, the racist party in the United States. He was friends with that guy. So to be adjacent to all this stuff and have all these quotes over the years and, poor people are just as smart as white kids are. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids are is another quote of Joe Biden. So it's just over and over again. And Matt, I completely get what you're saying where it's this positioning yourself as you're trying to help. But, we need to take Aunt Jemima off of the bottles to save you, basically.
Dude, I don't want to let this pass. And I don't often speak about stuff like this because my identity does not come from something like a birth lottery with who my parents were and whatever ethnicity I am. I'm Canadian, but anyways, I just want to say something for a minute. I was in RBC yesterday. Yeah, I shouldn't be in RBC, but I had an account with them. Yes, they discriminate against conservatives. I'm currently moving my business elsewhere. Anyways, I'm in the bank and I'm sitting there and I see on the big screen, oh, there's a special loan, a special small business loan for Black entrepreneurs. And I sit there and I'm looking around the bank and I see Asian people, I see Indian people, I see white people. And I'm just thinking, these guys think that I'm retarded or something. Sorry for my language, but they think I'm not capable to be successful on my own. In fact, I need special financial help. I need special debt. I need a special debt program so that I can be successful. I can be a normal member of society. That's what white supremacy looks like. That is white supremacy. Hillary Clinton going on Charlemagne and saying she never leaves the house without her hot sauce. That is white supremacy. Justin Trudeau getting caught in blackface multiple times and not taking any accountability for it and saying, in fact, it's a teaching moment. That is white supremacy. Not good, hardworking Canadians that just want to work. They just want to go back to their job, just want to go back to school. Like, people really need to get their ideas flipped. This whole thing has been completely perverted. It's just a new version of racism 2.0. No, I am not a token. Yes, these are my original ideas. Yes, I'm researched. So it's just, that bothers me so much.
As it should. I'm sure if it was happening to me and people were trying to tell me, oh, poor white people, and of course those people are out there, and to a degree they have a point when people say like things are being slanted in one direction now. But if it was legitimately, let's help out white people by removing their faces from products, and let's help white people by treating them, better than everybody else, I would be against that as well. Lewis, do you expect the same thing would happen in the United Kingdom if people were to go around and ask people if Joe Rogan was racist?
I reckon that would happen. I think a lot of people have bought into this idea of victimhood. This idea, it's basically echoing what Matt said. It's this strange sort of, I can't even really explain what it is. I don't know. The thing is, right, context now doesn't matter. And it's a very unique time that we're living in. I mean, I don't suppose you guys have seen all the clips of Howard Stern coming back to light. So that's been doing the rounds. I think someone posted something recently. I don't want to guess to who it was, but I think someone posted something recently explaining how it's now a kind of left or right type thing now, where if a staunch sort of lefty would use this use that word, that's the sketch that's been doing the rounds again. If you use that word constantly, like for example Howard Stern there was using it constantly, but now can still keep their job. But if someone challenges some form of narrative, whether it be a mainstream narrative or a left-wing narrative, and that word is even being used as an example or maybe quoted, like what Joe Rogan's been doing, it's immediately, no, this isn't acceptable, this is toxic, this is racist, regardless of context. And it's almost like people are dictating what is offensive and what isn't now. Now, I don't know. I think there's nothing much more to really add than what Matt says. I think it's a form of patronization now towards black people is what I've been seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't, claim to know everything, but I see it as a form of patronization. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that correct or incorrect?
Matt, you want to touch on?
Well, yeah, it's a way to just manipulate people to, control how they think and control them as like a voting bloc. It's weaponizing guilt for folks like you, like that look like you guys, to then further control and highlight victimization in people that look like me. And it's just a way to control both of us. Because here's the thing, man. If I can tell you that your life sucks and it's not your fault and I can fix it for you, well, that's pretty appealing. Most people are going to take that. It's like, that lack. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm a loser because, it's not because I don't get up and work hard. And it's not because I sleep in till 1 every day. And it's not because I drink and smoke every day. But it's probably because of some sort of, internalization in the system that I have it's completely out of my strength. And then, it's unfortunate because we set up financial institutions and programs to further propel folks that are actually hardworking and are deserving it, but they could reach these heights on their own merit. But instead, with the propping up of the institution, it raises them all the way like up to here. But I mean, in the arts, especially in Canada. But if you look at, like, for example, okay, Neil Young, okay, you're protesting Joe Rogan for all of this misinformation, and you're saying like maybe, some people are echoing that maybe there's like some racism or white nationalism or whatever. Where are all you celebrities protesting like gangster rap music? That's saying that young black Americans should kill each other and sell dope and womanize and sleep around and all of this disgust. Like, all of these things are actually hurting the black community. How come you're not protesting that? How come you have no problem standing beside that? But then as soon as someone, wants to think for themselves and present their own ideals that don't go against the party line, then, you're screaming racism. It's just gross. And CBC does the same thing. Canada's falling into the same identity politics garbage. That's why what's dominated the news cycle was one swastika flag or one Confederate flag amongst a sea of millions of people, peaceful people. And you know what? It's like, okay, maybe if they were a majority white people, I don't know if that was the case. But when that gets brought forward, then conservatives have to feel like we have to defend the fact that, oh, they were white, but they're good people. It's like, what the hell? Who cares if they're white? Who cares what color they are? Why are we even talking about this stuff? Like, my grandma, she's German and adopted and European, and she's not really sure what she is. My grandpa, as a black man, immigrated here from Trinidad, got his engineering degree from UBC, really worked hard to make something of himself. In the 60s, they weren't in Vancouver. They weren't allowed to get an apartment because they're a mixed race couple. And my grandma had to pretend to be, believe it or not, a lesbian so that she could get an apartment for my grandpa, because certain landlords in Vancouver were more likely to sign a lease for a lesbian couple than they were for a mixed race biracial couple. So I know that's crazy. That sounds ludicrous, but it's true. But anyways, I was at my grandma's house last week and we're having a conversation, and she's very lefty. She's very plugged into the CNN narrative. She believes everything that she sees on the news. But even she was saying to me, I can't believe how much racism dominates the cultural conversation in the news. Like, things are way worse now than they were when I was young. And I'm like, do you actually believe that? You actually lived through racism and segregation? Like, you literally could not get an apartment with your husband because he was black, and you're telling me racism is worse now? No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. But she believes it. Like, she's had this stuff bashed over her head so much over the past 4 years. An elderly lady who's triple jabbed who won't leave the house. You know what I'm saying? But she actually believes, someone who actually was an advocate for equal rights, so much so that she married a black man. That's how much of an advocate she was for equal rights and the civil rights movement. But she believes that things are more racist now. It's nonsense.
It's the power of the. Oh yeah, that's a great meme.
Justin Trudeau.
It's the power of the media.
We gotta defund CBC, bro.
Oh, hey guys, thanks for watching. That's a clip from our Rebel News daily live stream where we talk about the news of the day in an unscripted and interactive way. It's co-hosted at noon Eastern or 10 Mountain Standard Time by me on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And on Wednesdays and Fridays, we've got rotating co-hosting happening from some of our other on-air talent. So good news, there's something for everybody. We broadcast on YouTube. But if you want the full uncensored version, you're going to have to find us on Rumble, Super U, and Odyssey. And be sure to sign up for our rebelnews.com emails so that you never miss us when we go live.